Okay, this is the condensing unit for the HVAC cooling system. I can't really tell if it's a heat pump or not because of the cabinet. So that's to be determined. But it is the condensing unit, all the same. The condensing unit is not level. The condensing unit is closer to the ground than 3 inches. The refrigerant piping to the condensing unit, that's the wrong kind of refrigerant piping. Now, since 2015, but it's an energy requirement, so it makes the report. But this unit was manufactured in 2008. Okay, so it wasn't required at the time, but you do not have energy. The casement where it penetrates the wall, okay, that could be better sealed. You think water can get in there? I do. I think water can get in there. Inside there? You bet. Okay, the coils are dirty. The disconnect is properly done. Alright, nice stuff. But the disconnect should be sealed on 3 sides to keep water from getting back up in there as well. We do not have an electric service receptacle out here for the technician. He had to run an extension cord back here to get power to this thing. That's the way you're going to get power to it, so you can run a vacuum pump or whatever. And speaking of running a vacuum pump, this thing is 13 years old, 14 years old. They're engineered on paper to last 20 years. They might last 35. But Las Vegas is going to give you 14. After 14, this unit's done just about everything you would expect it to do. So not as it old. So it's going to be like in 2002, it's probably going to be SEER 14. That's not horrible. Probably going to be SEER 14. But check this out. It is... Come on. I've got a still image of this data plate. I don't have to show it to you here. You can take my word for it. It's in here somewhere. Here's 50 amp fuse. We got a 50 amp fuse. Real small. Not proud of it. R22. R22 is the refrigerant that's in here. It's obsolete. No longer manufactured in the United States. No longer imported in the United States legally. Do they have a stockpile of it? You bet they do. Is it expensive? You bet it is. And they sell drop-ins and alternatives. But if a technician talks you into a drop-in, you might as well put him on payroll, because nobody's going to want to follow him. The drop-ins are expensive themselves, and they're not as efficient as the inefficient R22 that you already have in here. So, you know, most HVAC techs that come and service this, just so that you know, when they come in, they're going to say, like, you know what, we can get this old dog to working, but this is R22, and I recommend that you replace it, update it, and they would do that rightfully so. Rightfully so. It's a decision I can't make for you. It's a decision I can't make for you. Texas Real Estate Commission, is it working or not? We're going to find out. Was it installed properly? Well, not really, or it's become uninstalled properly. You know, or is it a safety issue, which, you know, I don't see that as being at this point. So what did we learn? We learned that the system's old. We learned that it's got R22 instead of R410A. We learned that it's not level. We learned that it's not elevated high enough. We learned that the insulation is not energy efficient. We learned that the cover disconnect should have been sealed, and it shouldn't be behind it either. I don't think I mentioned that, but I'm mentioning it now. You shouldn't have to go behind a unit to disconnect it. And you should have an electric receptacle outlet out here so the technician can run a vacuum pump when he installs your brand new system.